Yellowstone National Park is a realm of myth and majesty, a vast wilderness sculpted by the relentless forces of nature. Here the land rises and falls in dramatic sweeps, where dawn's first light spills across endless ridges, igniting the mist that clings to ancient forests and rugged peaks. Every horizon is a testament to the raw, untamed power of the natural world, a stage set for the grandest of spectacles. Established in 1872, Yellowstone was set aside not for its resources, but for its intrinsic wonder, a sanctuary where the wild could remain wild and the land could breathe in its own rhythms undisturbed and eternal. Sprawling across more than 2 million acres, Yellowstone is a living mosaic. Dense lodgepole pine forests stretch like emerald seas, their needles whispering in the wind. Grassy valleys unfurl beneath vast skies, rivers winding in silver ribbons through the heart of the land. Canyons carved by ancient waters plunge into shadowy depths, their cliffs painted in ochre and gold, echoing with the calls of distant wildlife. This is a place where the earth itself seems alive, exhaling steam and boiling water into the crisp mountain air. Geyser basins simmer and hiss, their breath rising in ghostly plumes, a constant reminder of the immense unseen forces that churn beneath the surface. Beneath this wild expanse lies Yellowstone's most profound secret, a colossal, slumbering volcano, one of the largest on Earth. Its presence is felt in every trembling vent, every steaming fissure, every eruption of water and heat. This ancient giant is the engine that powers Yellowstone's most extraordinary phenomena, fueling a world where fire and water dance in perpetual motion. Geysers, like the legendary Old Faithful, erupt with astonishing regularity, launching columns of superheated water skyward. Each eruption is a display of nature's precision and power, a rhythmic heartbeat in the park's living landscape. Hot springs dazzle the senses, painting the earth in vibrant, otherworldly hues. Their colours, fiery orange, deep blue, radiant green, are the work of heat-loving bacteria, thriving in the scalding waters and weaving intricate patterns across the mineral crusts. Fumaroles hiss with sulphurous breath, their thick steam curling into the sky. Bubbling mudpots churn and gurgle, offering a glimpse into the primordial cauldron simmering just below the surface, where earth and fire are forever entwined. These geothermal wonders are not mere curiosities. They are the lifeblood of the park, shaping the land and influencing every living creature that calls this extraordinary place home. From the highest snow-capped peaks to the shadowed depths of the valleys, Yellowstone is a sanctuary for an astonishing diversity of wildlife. Herds of bison graze in the open meadows, their massive forms moving like ancient shadows across the land. Elk slip silently through the forests, their antlers catching the golden light. This is one of the last great, nearly intact temperate ecosystems on Earth, a place where the web of life remains unbroken and the wild persists in its purest form. Here, great herds of bison and elk roam freely, their migrations guided by the ancient rhythms of the seasons. They move in timeless procession, crossing rivers and plains, shaping the land with every hoofbeat. Grizzly bears and wolves, the great predators of the American West, prowl the forests and valleys. The grizzly's powerful stride and the wolf's haunting call restore a balance that echoes through the ages, their presence vital to the health and harmony of the ecosystem. This is a complete, functioning ecosystem, a living laboratory where the timeless dramas of life, death and survival unfold each day. Predator and prey, plant and animal all abound together in a delicate, ever-shifting balance, largely untouched by the modern world. The character of Yellowstone is defined by its dramatic and often brutal seasons, each one sculpting the land and its inhabitants in unique and powerful ways. The gentle warmth of summer brings a riot of wildflowers, painting the meadows in a tapestry of colour. Autumn follows, igniting the forests in a blaze of gold and crimson before yielding to the profound silence and icy grip of winter. Winter descends as a long, relentless season of deep cold and heavy snow. The land is blanketed in white, and every living creature is tested by the elements, their resilience forged in the crucible of survival. The landscape is transformed into a starkly beautiful yet unforgiving world of ice and silence. Rivers freeze, trees bow beneath the weight of snow, and the air itself seems to shimmer with cold. For the animals that remain, it is a time of immense hardship, a struggle for existence that pushes every species to the very edge of endurance. Their bodies, their behaviours and their destinies are shaped by the relentless demands of the cold, forging a resilience as enduring as the land itself. When winter descends upon Yellowstone, it does not arrive gently. It sweeps in with a relentless force, transforming the land into a realm of ice and silence, where every living creature must adapt or perish. The valleys and forests are shrouded in a thick, unbroken blanket of snow, muffling every sound and casting the world into a profound crystalline stillness. The rising sun glimmers on the frozen expanse, painting the wilderness in hues of blue and gold. Temperatures plunge to 40 degrees below zero and beyond. A cold so fierce it crystallizes breath in mid-air and etches frost onto every surface. Even the eyelashes of the animals freeze, tiny icicles forming with each exhale. Rivers and lakes surrender to the freeze, their surfaces locked beneath thick layers of ice. Meadows, once lush and teeming with life, vanish beneath a shroud of white, their bounty hidden and inaccessible. This is the season that defines Yellowstone, a crucible where only the most resilient survive. Every creature faces a daily trial, their endurance tested by the unyielding cold and scarcity. For the park's inhabitants, the world narrows to a stark, monochrome struggle. Bison, with their massive heads, sweep aside snow to reach the buried grasses below, while elk form tight herds, moving cautiously through the drifts, each step a calculated expenditure of precious energy. The challenges are as varied as they are immense. Snowdrifts erase trails and cover food, forcing animals to rely on instinct and adaptation to survive. Deep snow transforms every journey into an ordeal. Bison and elk must push through waist-deep powder, burning vital calories with each laboured step, their bodies straining against the relentless weight of winter. Beneath the snow, the grasses and sedges that sustain life are hidden. Bison use their powerful neck muscles to sweep aside the snow, while elk paw at the frozen crust, searching for even the smallest morsel. The cold is a constant adversary, sapping strength and demanding that every animal burn more energy just to maintain warmth. Shivering becomes a survival mechanism, a way to generate heat when food is at its scarcest. Water, too, becomes a precious resource. Streams and ponds freeze solid, forcing creatures to eat snow for hydration, a desperate act that further lowers their body temperature and increases the risk of exhaustion. In this season of scarcity, every day is a battle. Some animals huddle together for warmth, sharing what little heat they can, while others wander alone across the vast, empty whiteness, searching for shelter and sustenance. The harshness of winter sharpens the ancient dance between predator and prey. Wolves, lean and hungry, move silently through the forests, their keen senses attuned to the faintest sign of weakness among the herds. It is in these months that the old, the weak, and the inexperienced are most vulnerable. A single misstep, a moment of hesitation, can mean the difference between life and death. Only the strongest, the most cunning, and the best adapted will endure. The bison with the thickest coat, the wolf with the sharpest instincts, these are the survivors, the ones who will see the return of spring. This seasonal crucible forges resilience. The animals that thrive are those whose bodies and behaviours are perfectly tuned to the demands of winter, ensuring that the next generation inherits the traits that spell survival. The elk that finds a sheltered valley, the bison whose fur grows thick and insulating, the wolf that learns to hunt in deep snow. These are the architects of the future, passing on their hard-won advantages. Winter, in all its severity, is the great filter. It shapes the destiny of every species, ensuring that only the most robust and resourceful endure to see the world reborn. The transformation is absolute. Where once there was colour and movement, now there is a world sculpted by ice and silence, every contour softened by snow, every sound muted by the cold. Rivers once alive with motion now flow sluggishly beneath thick shelves of ice. Their banks are carved into fantastic shapes, each one a testament to the artistry of winter. The forests of lodgepole pine, their branches heavy with snow, stand as silent sentinels beneath a pale overcast sky. Every tree, every branch is etched with frost, a living sculpture in the frozen air. In the coldest months, the vastness of the park seems to contract. Animals gather in lower valleys and near geothermal springs, where the earth's warmth offers a fleeting sanctuary from the relentless chill. For Yellowstone's creatures, winter is not a time of rest, but a season-long trial. Each day is a test of endurance, adaptation and will, a battle for survival waged against the unyielding power of winter's reign. As winter descends upon Yellowstone, the landscape transforms into a realm of ice and silence. Snow blankets the valleys and mountains, muffling sound and turning the world into a tapestry of white and shadow. In this frozen wilderness, survival is a daily test, and every creature must draw upon ancient instincts and remarkable adaptations to endure the relentless cold. The mighty bison, a symbol of resilience, stands as a testament to nature's ingenuity. Its immense body is shielded by a dense, shaggy coat, so well insulated that snow can pile atop its back without melting, forming a frosty mantle that further protects it from the biting wind. During the coldest months, bison conserve energy by slowing their metabolism. They often stand motionless, eyes half closed, entering a state of semi-hibernation. This ability to reduce their bodily functions allows them to survive on minimal resources, enduring long stretches when food is scarce. Their most vital tool is their massive head and powerful neck. With rhythmic sweeps, they plough through deep snow, uncovering the withered grasses hidden beneath. Even when the ground is locked in ice, the bison's persistence and strength allow it to find nourishment where others cannot. Elk, though abundant, face a far more arduous ordeal. Lacking the bison's bulk and snow-clearing prowess, they must navigate drifts that sap their strength with every step. The deep snow can quickly exhaust them, making each movement a calculated risk. Their answer to winter's challenge is migration, a journey dictated by the shifting snows and the promise of food. As the snow deepens in the high country, vast herds descend to lower, more sheltered valleys, seeking out areas where the snow is thinner and the grasses are still within reach. This migration is a perilous trek, but it is essential for their survival. Some elk, unable or unwilling to migrate, gamble on survival by seeking refuge in icy rivers. The frigid water offers a temporary sanctuary from predators, but it comes at a steep cost, draining precious body heat and pushing them ever closer to exhaustion. High above, on the wind-scoured ridges, bighorn sheep endure where few others dare to tread. These mountain specialists are sculpted by the harshness of their environment, thriving in places where the wind strips the snow from the slopes. The relentless winds, though bitterly cold, reveal patches of dried grass and sedge. Here the sheep graze, their thick coats and compact bodies shielding them from the elements. Their cloven hooves, sharp and nimble, provide unmatched traction on icy, treacherous ground, allowing them to traverse steep, snow-laden cliffs in search of food and safety. The rams, having recently endured the rigours of the autumn rut, now focus on recovery. Their epic head-butting battles, echoes of dominance and survival, are replaced by the quiet struggle to regain strength amid the snow and wind. Resting on exposed ridges, they brace themselves against the relentless gusts, conserving energy and waiting for the first signs of spring. For the wolves, winter is a season of opportunity. The snow and cold that challenge others become their greatest allies. Prey weakened by hunger and fatigue are more vulnerable, and the wolves' keen senses and relentless endurance give them the upper hand. Their large, splayed paws act as natural snowshoes, distributing their weight and allowing them to glide over deep drifts that would mire other animals. This adaptation lets them cover vast distances in search of prey. Wolves are masters of cooperation. In winter, their pack dynamics are at their sharpest, with each member playing a role in the hunt. Their communication is subtle, glances, body language, and the silent understanding of a well-bonded group. The frozen landscape becomes a stage for this ancient drama. The wolves move with patience and precision, their pursuit silent and relentless. In the end, the balance of life and death is decided by the unforgiving winter, where only the most adaptable and resourceful can endure until the thaw returns. Winter in Yellowstone transforms the land into a stark white arena, where the ancient drama of predator and prey unfolds with raw intensity. The snow blankets the ground, muffling sound and erasing the scents and tracks of the night before. But every movement leaves a fresh story written in the powder. With the landscape stripped of its summer foliage, there is nowhere to hide. Every shadow, every breath is exposed against the endless white. Here, the interactions between hunter and hunted become a matter of life and death, played out in the open with no room for error. The most iconic of these relationships is the timeless contest between wolf and elk. The wolves, silent and coordinated, move as one, eyes fixed, bodies low, reading every twitch and tremor in the elk herd. The deep snow that hinders the elk gives the wolf pack an enormous advantage. Elk, heavy and slow, break through the crust, each step a struggle, while the wolves, lighter and sure-footed, skim across the surface, closing the distance with relentless determination. A pack like the legendary Druid pack, once rulers of this frozen kingdom, could bring down a full-grown elk every few days during the peak of winter. Their success is not just in numbers, but in the silent communication, the flanking manoeuvres, the relentless pursuit that wears down even the strongest prey. The hunt is a calculated affair, a chess match played across the frozen landscape. Wolves test the herd, probing for weakness, circling, feinting, and waiting for a single misstep. The wolves will test a herd, searching for any sign of vulnerability, an older elk, a sick animal, or one hobbled by injury. The herd senses the danger, bunching together, antlers out, eyes wide and alert. Once a target is chosen, the chase erupts. Snow flies as the wolves surge forward, the elk bolts, hooves pounding, desperate to outpace its pursuers. The air is filled with the sound of pursuit, panting breath, crunching snow, the thundering heartbeats of predator and prey. A healthy bull elk in his prime is a formidable opponent. He stands his ground, antlers lowered, hooves ready to strike. The wolves circle, wary of his power, knowing a single miscalculation could mean injury or worse. Sometimes the elk will plunge into the icy waters of a river, seeking refuge where the wolves hesitate to follow. The frigid current is a dangerous barrier, and the wolves, unwilling to risk hypothermia, wait on the banks, eyes never leaving their quarry. But as winter grinds on, the elk grow thin, their reserves dwindling. The relentless cold and hunger tip the scales ever further in the wolves' favour. The weak and weary fall behind, and the pack closes in, ending the chase with swift, merciless efficiency. Yet wolves are not the only hunters in this frozen world. The snow reveals the tracks of many, bobcat, coyote, fox, each following its own path, each playing its own part in the winter struggle. The coyote, smaller and more solitary than the wolf, is a master of survival. It moves lightly across the snow, ears pricked, nose to the wind, always alert for opportunity. Coyotes often shadow the larger wolf packs, drawn by the scent of a fresh kill. They wait at the edges, watching for a chance to dart in and snatch a morsel, risking violent confrontation for a taste of survival. But coyotes are also expert mousers, relying on their keen senses and quick reflexes to find food hidden beneath the snow. They stand motionless, head cocked, listening for the faintest rustle of a mouse or vole tunneling below. Every muscle tenses, every sense sharp, as they wait for the perfect moment. Suddenly, the coyote leaps, arching high and plunging headfirst into the drift, jaws snapping shut on its unseen prey. In this world, even the smallest victory is hard won. Even the rivers, locked in ice, are alive with their own dramas. Tracks crisscross the banks, telling stories of silent hunts and narrow escapes. Beneath the ice, the river otter is in its element. Sleek and agile, it slips through the frigid water, hunting with effortless grace. A mother otter guides her pups, teaching them the art of the hunt. Each lesson is a matter of survival, every catch a triumph in the cold. In rare places where the water remains open, cutthroat trout gather to spawn, their bright bodies flashing beneath the ice, a fleeting bounty for those quick and clever enough to seize it. The mother otter demonstrates how to corner fish in the shallows, her movements swift and sure, a masterclass in aquatic hunting. For the pups, these lessons are everything. They watch, they mimic, they learn, each attempt bringing them closer to the skills they will need to survive. Mastering the hunt before the next winter arrives is not just a rite of passage, it is the difference between life and death in this demanding, snowbound world. Here, every track, every chase, every heartbeat is a testament to the fierce will to survive. As the iron grip of winter finally begins to loosen, a profound transformation sweeps across Yellowstone. The last remnants of snow retreat from the mountain meadows, revealing a landscape eager for renewal. The warming sun coaxes the snow to melt, sending rivulets of crystal-clear water cascading down slopes and pooling into streams. The gentle music of dripping and running water returns, weaving through the forest and over sunlit rocks, breathing life back into the land. This is the spring awakening, a time when the earth itself seems to exhale. Emerald shoots pierce the thawed soil, carpeting the valleys in vibrant green. Sunrises paint the revitalized landscape with golden light, and the air is thick with the scent of new growth. The first green shoots push through the damp earth, unfurling delicate leaves that drink in the sunlight. Rivers, swollen with meltwater, surge and roar, carving new channels and nourishing the banks where wildflowers soon bloom in dazzling profusion. For the animals that have endured the long, hard winter, it is a time of deliverance. Bison herds move through thawing meadows, their heavy coats dusted with the last traces of snow, while elk emerge from the shelter of the woods, drawn by the promise of fresh grass. The returning vegetation provides a feast of fresh, nutritious food. Bison and elk lower their heads to graze, tearing at the lush shoots and wildflowers, replenishing their depleted fat reserves and regaining strength after months of scarcity. This season of abundance stirs powerful instincts. The air is alive with the calls and displays of courtship, as animals pair off and begin the ancient rituals of mating, ensuring the next generation will thrive in this land of plenty. For the wolf packs, the mating season began in the cold of late February, when the world was still cloaked in frost and silence. Within each pack, an alpha pair typically claims the right to breed, reinforcing the strict social hierarchy that governs wolf society. Their bond is the foundation of the pack's future. Yet sometimes a lone male from beyond the pack's borders dares to approach, seeking a secretive union with a subordinate female. This risky venture, if successful, weaves new threads into the genetic tapestry of the pack. By late spring, the den comes alive with the soft whimpers of newborn wolf pups. Blind and helpless, they rely on the tireless devotion of the entire pack, who bring food and protection to the secluded den, ensuring the fragile lives within have a chance to grow. The park's great herbivores also respond to the changing season with a surge of new life. Herds of bison, elk and pronghorn gather in the lush meadows, drawn by the abundance of tender shoots and the safety of numbers. In the spring, hundreds of bison calves are born, their reddish-brown coats a striking contrast against the greening plains. They rest close to their mothers, learning the rhythms of the herd and the dangers of the wild. Mothers are fiercely protective, keeping their calves close and ever watchful for lurking predators. The bond between mother and calf is a shield against the ever-present risks of the open plains. Soon after, the pronghorn, the swiftest land animal in North America, give birth to their young, often twins, in the shelter of the open grasslands. The mother meticulously cleans her fawns, erasing any scent that might betray their presence to prowling coyotes. The fawn's spotted coats blend seamlessly with the dappled sunlight and tall grass, offering perfect camouflage as they lie motionless while their mother grazes nearby. Elk calves are also born in late spring, their dappled hides mirroring the play of sunlight and shadow in the forest undergrowth. Hidden among the ferns and wildflowers, they wait for their mother's return. As summer unfolds, the meadows and forests pulse with youthful energy. Bison calves race across the fields, elk calves explore under the watchful eyes of their mothers, and pronghorn fawns test their legs in the open grasslands. Each day brings new lessons in survival as the young learn to navigate a world of opportunity and danger. The season's bounty reaches its peak as summer gives way to autumn, herds gather in greater numbers, and the landscape is painted with the golds and reds of changing leaves. The great migrations begin as animals move in search of richer pastures and prepare for the challenges ahead. Bull elk, their antlers now fully grown and gleaming in the autumn sun, engage in fierce battles for dominance. Their bugling calls echo through the valleys, a powerful signal of strength and vitality. The victors, standing tall in the golden light, will pass on their strong genes to the next generation. The exhausted rivals, battered and weary, face the coming winter with uncertainty. Thus, the cycle of life in Yellowstone continues, shaped by the rhythms of the seasons and the enduring resilience of its wild inhabitants. Yellowstone's landscape is a living tapestry, ceaselessly moulded by the elemental powers of fire and water. These forces are not simply agents of change, but the very heartbeat of the park's natural cycles, orchestrating renewal, transformation and diversity across the ages. Fire and water act as architects, not destroyers, shaping the land and its inhabitants through cycles of disturbance and rebirth. Each event, whether a blaze or a surge of water, sets the stage for new beginnings and evolving habitats. Deep beneath the surface, a restless volcano fuels Yellowstone's geothermal wonders. Geysers and hot springs erupt with superheated water, their energy a constant reminder of the planet's inner dynamism. As this mineral-rich water rises, it leaves behind vibrant terraces and deposits, painting the earth in brilliant hues. and creating unique habitats for specialized life forms. Over millennia, these mineral-laden waters can encase trees, transforming them into stone sentinels, silent witnesses to the slow march of geological time. The intense heat from geothermal features scorches the ground, halting the advance of forests and preserving open grasslands. These meadows, maintained by heat, become vital grazing grounds for large herbivores, sustaining the rhythm of life. Fire, too, is a force of transformation. Wildfires sweep through the forests, their flames clearing away dense undergrowth and old trees, making way for sunlight and new life. In the dry heat of summer, lightning ignites the resinous bark of lodgepole pines, unleashing blazes that are both fierce and essential to the forest's renewal. The aftermath may seem stark, but the charred earth is a canvas for regeneration. Fire resets the ecological clock, clearing space for new growth and altering the structure of the forest. Monumental fires like those that once swept across vast stretches of Yellowstone reveal the power of this cycle. The land, blackened and bare, soon pulses with the promise of renewal. With the canopy opened, sunlight streams to the forest floor, awakening seeds and dormant roots. The forest breathes anew, its layers reformed by the cleansing touch of fire. In the blackened soil, a surge of life erupts. Grasses, wildflowers and saplings push upward, their growth accelerated by the sudden abundance of light and nutrients. Opportunistic plants like fireweed are among the first to appear, their seeds quick to germinate in the nutrient-rich ash. Fireweed flourishes, its purple blooms carpeting the ground, drawing pollinators and signalling the rebirth of the ecosystem. These meadows become vibrant hubs of activity, supporting hummingbirds and countless insects, each playing a role in the unfolding web of life. The tender shoots and grasses that follow a fire attract grazers who feast on the bounty, further shaping the recovering landscape. Some trees, like the lodgepole pine, are uniquely attuned to fire's rhythm. Their cones, sealed tight with resin, only open in the heat of a blaze, releasing seeds onto the freshly cleared fertile ground, ensuring the next generation rises from the ashes. Water, in its flowing form, is the patient sculptor of Yellowstone. Rivers carve through ancient rock, their currents etching canyons and valleys over countless centuries. The Yellowstone and Snake rivers have spent eons slicing through volcanic stone, unveiling the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone and a network of dramatic gorges. Along their banks, the flow of water determines where willows and cottonwoods thrive, creating lush corridors that shelter a multitude of creatures from moose to songbirds. The interplay is unending. Geothermal waters sustain meadows, fire renews forests, and rivers carve the land. Each force acts in concert, maintaining the balance and vitality of the ecosystem. Through the eternal dance of fire and water, Yellowstone remains a realm of perpetual change, its landscapes, life and geology forever shaped by these elemental cycles. Among Yellowstone's many remarkable inhabitants, one animal stands out for its extraordinary ability to reshape the land, creating thriving habitats that ripple with life. This is the beaver, nature's masterful engineer, whose tireless work transforms flowing streams into vibrant wetlands. Driven by an instinct as old as time, beavers respond to the faintest trickle of water, setting off a flurry of activity as they patch leaks and reinforce their dams with remarkable precision. Their powerful, ever-growing incisors, self-sharpening tools of nature, allow them to fell even the largest trees. Each log and branch is carefully selected, cut and transported, a feat of strength and coordination repeated hundreds of times each year. The resulting dams are intricate marvels, woven from logs, branches, mud and stones. These structures are not only sturdy but also flexible, able to withstand the shifting currents and seasonal floods. By halting the flow of water, beavers create deep, still ponds. This transformation is profound as the new pond becomes a cradle for life, altering the very character of the landscape. The pond's calm waters form a natural moat, shielding the beaver's lodge from prowling predators such as wolves and bears. Here the beaver finds safety, its home encircled by water. Within the domed lodge, constructed from a lattice of sticks and sealed with mud, a beaver family finds warmth and shelter. The underwater entrance offers secretive access, allowing the beavers to come and go unseen, even in the depths of winter. Yet the beaver's influence radiates far beyond its own family. The pond and its surrounding wetlands become a sanctuary for countless other creatures. Where once there was only a trickling stream or a dry valley, now lush wetlands flourish. These new habitats teem with life, their edges alive with movement and sound. Moose wade through the shallows, birds gather at the water's edge, and a chorus of frogs and insects fills the air. The beaver pond becomes a magnet, drawing wildlife from far and wide. Beneath the surface, the still waters allow fine sediments to settle, creating fertile ground for aquatic plants. These plants, in turn, provide food and shelter for a host of underwater creatures. Moose are drawn to the sodium-rich aquatic vegetation, plunging deep into the pond to feast on the bounty that thrives in these nutrient-rich waters. The pond's quiet margins become nurseries for amphibians. Frogs and salamanders lay their eggs in the safety of the shallows, while swarms of insects provide a feast for hungry birds. Waterfowl nest among the reeds, their young sheltered by the pond's calm surface. Fish populations flourish, taking advantage of the protected waters and abundant food. In this oasis, a single beaver colony becomes the heart of a thriving community, its influence felt in every ripple and rustle. As autumn approaches, beavers redouble their efforts, gathering branches and fortifying their dams in preparation for the long, frozen months ahead. They reinforce their lodges and dams and begin to amass a vital food cache, branches and twigs that will sustain them when the world above is locked in ice. Aspen and willow trees are felled and dragged into the pond, each branch carefully selected for its nutritional value and stored for the winter ahead. The beavers anchor these branches to the pond bottom, creating an underwater pantry that remains accessible even when the surface is sealed by ice. When winter descends and the pond freezes solid, beavers slip silently beneath the ice, retrieving branches from their cache to feed in the warmth of their lodge. Through their ingenuity and relentless effort, beavers shape Yellowstone's waterways, building not just homes for themselves, but entire worlds where life flourishes in abundance. Yellowstone, with its sweeping valleys and rugged peaks, is a vast wilderness, yet it is far from isolated. Here every living being, from the smallest insect to the largest bison, is part of a grand interconnected web. The park is a living tapestry, woven together by the movements, struggles and triumphs of countless species. The boundaries of the park are lines on a map, invisible and meaningless to the animals that live here. For them, the land is continuous, a shared home shaped by ancient migrations and seasonal rhythms. The reality is that Yellowstone itself is not large enough to support all of its wildlife throughout the entire year. The needs of elk, bison and other creatures extend far beyond the park's borders, drawing them into the surrounding lands. This is most evident during the harsh winter, when great herds of elk and bison are driven by instinct to migrate out of the high country in search of food. Their journey is a testament to resilience and to the deep-rooted memory of migration paths passed down through generations. As they cross the park's border, they enter a landscape dominated by humans, where fields and fences replace forests and meadows. Here the delicate balance between wild and domestic life is tested. Their fate is no longer governed solely by nature, but by the decisions and attitudes of people. The presence of elk and bison near homes and ranches is a daily reminder of the shared nature of this landscape. This journey beyond the park's protection presents numerous challenges. Fences, highways and towns fragment the land, forcing animals to navigate a maze of obstacles in their search for food and safety. The migrating herds enter a world of barriers, where the simple act of moving from one place to another can become a perilous ordeal. For ranchers, the presence of thousands of elk can mean competition for grazing land needed for their cattle. Yet in these shared pastures a subtle dance unfolds, elk and cattle each seeking sustenance, sometimes side by side, sometimes in quiet competition. Historically, this has been a source of conflict, as has the fear that bison might transmit diseases to livestock. The health of one species can ripple through the entire community, affecting all who share the land. The return of the wolf has added another layer of complexity. Wolves, once absent, now move through the snow, their presence reshaping the behaviours of elk, bison, and even the land itself. While wolves are a vital part of the park's ecosystem, their expansion into ranchlands outside the park creates concern for the safety of domestic animals. The predator-prey relationship, so essential in the wild, becomes a source of anxiety at the edge of human settlements. These tensions test the tolerance of the human communities that live on Yellowstone's doorstep, challenging them to find new ways to coexist with their wild neighbours. In response to these challenges, a new model of conservation is emerging, one that recognises the interconnectedness of all life here. This model is based on coexistence and compromise, where people and wildlife work together to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. Recognizing the importance of these ancient migration routes, communities and conservationists strive to keep them open, ensuring that the seasonal journeys of elk and bison can continue. Some private landowners and conservation groups have worked to set aside crucial parcels of land as wildlife refuges, creating safe havens where animals can rest and feed undisturbed. These areas provide sanctuary for the migrating elk, offering them safe passage and access to winter grazing away from livestock operations. Here the boundaries between species blur and the needs of all are considered. This approach acknowledges that the health of Yellowstone's wildlife is intrinsically linked to the lands that surround it and to the well-being of every creature that calls this place home. Protecting these corridors is just as important as protecting the park itself, for they are the lifelines that connect species, habitats, and entire ecosystems. The future of Yellowstone's wild wonders depends on this spirit of cooperation between people and among the many species that share this land. Positive signs are emerging as some ranchers adopt new strategies to live alongside predators, recognizing that wolves, too, play a role in maintaining ecological balance. Using guard dogs and other non-lethal methods to protect their herds, they help foster a landscape where predator and prey, wild and domestic, can coexist. This growing tolerance is a testament to a deeper understanding of the ecosystem and the value of its wildlife. Each species, from the wolf to the willow, plays a part in the intricate balance of Yellowstone. The challenge is to find a balance where both people and animals can thrive, where the needs of one do not come at the expense of another. In this shared landscape, the timeless seasonal journeys of Yellowstone's magnificent creatures continue, each migration a reminder of the deep connections that bind all life here. It is a shared landscape, a living mosaic of interspecies relationships and ecological balance. Its stewardship is a shared responsibility, one that calls on us all to honour the interconnectedness of every living thing. Yellowstone is not merely a place on a map, it is a living testament to the wild's enduring spirit, a realm where resilience is woven into every blade of grass, every river and every mountain. Across the span of a year, Yellowstone's landscapes transform in a ceaseless cycle, each season unfurling a new chapter in an ancient, ongoing story. Winter's icy grip blankets the land, testing every living thing, while spring's gentle thaw brings renewal and hope. In the heart of winter, bison lower their massive heads, forging paths through deep snow, their breath rising in clouds as they endure the cold. Bighorn sheep cling to wind-swept ridges, their hooves finding purchase on icy stone, embodying the tenacity required to survive in this untamed wilderness. The wolf pack, silent and watchful, moves through the snow, their presence a vital thread in the tapestry of life. The elk herd, ever alert, navigates the valley, their ancient dance with the wolves shaping the strength and vitality of both predator and prey. As the snow recedes, the land awakens. A newborn fawn, fragile and unsteady, takes its first steps in a sunlit meadow, while in autumn the air vibrates with the bugle of the bull elk, a call that echoes the raw power and timeless rhythms of the wild. The land itself is alive, its canyons and valleys carved by ancient forces, its terrain shaped by the relentless passage of time. Every rock, every river, every tree is a witness to the cycles of birth, struggle and renewal. Beneath the surface, a slumbering volcano breathes heat into the earth, fueling geysers and hot springs that erupt in dazzling displays. These geothermal wonders create unique habitats, nurturing life in the most unexpected places and sustaining the open grasslands above. Fire, fierce and untamed, sweeps through the forests, its flames clearing the old and making way for the new. In its wake, green shoots emerge from the blackened earth, a vivid reminder that destruction and renewal are inseparable in nature's grand design. Along the streams, beavers labour tirelessly, their dams transforming valleys into vibrant wetlands. These watery havens teem with life, becoming sanctuaries for countless creatures and a testament to the power of persistence and adaptation. Over millennia, these elemental forces, ice, fire, water and earth, have shaped a complex, ever-changing ecosystem. Here, life flourishes in astonishing diversity, each species playing its part in the intricate web of existence. Grizzly bears wade into rushing rivers, fishing with practiced patience, while otters slip through the water, their playful energy a celebration of abundance and survival. Above, eagles soar on mountain winds, their keen eyes scanning the land, while songbirds flit through the pines, their melodies weaving through the forest like threads of hope. Pronghorn antelope race across the open plains, swift and sure, while foxes hunt in snowy meadows, each animal a living testament to the adaptability and ingenuity that define Yellowstone's wild inhabitants. Migratory herds traverse ancient corridors, following paths etched into the land by generations past. Their journeys are a living memory of the park's enduring cycles, a testament to the persistence of life against all odds. The presence of both predator and prey, the constant interplay of survival and challenge, is the heartbeat of this ecosystem. It is a delicate balance, maintained by the relentless push and pull of nature's forces. Even the smallest lives, wildflowers blooming after a rain, insects pollinating in the sun, are vital threads in the fabric of Yellowstone, each contributing to the park's resilience and beauty. Here, wild animals roam unbound, moving with the rhythms of the land, their freedom a symbol of the untamed spirit that defines this place. The year in the life of Yellowstone is a living chronicle of resilience, complexity and magnificence, a story written in snow and sunlight, in the calls of animals and the silence of ancient forests. As the sun sets over the wild expanse, Yellowstone's enduring spirit lingers, a legacy of wilderness, a force of nature that persists through every challenge, and a reminder that the wild, in all its beauty and power, will always find a way. Beneath Yellowstone's wild surface lies a restless world of heat and energy, where the Earth's hidden forces burst forth in spectacular displays. Here, geysers launch columns of steaming water skyward, painting the cold air with ribbons of mist. Each eruption is a fleeting moment of power, a reminder of the ancient volcanoes slumbering deep below. Across the landscape, hot springs shimmer with vibrant colours, brilliant blues, fiery oranges and luminous greens, each hue shaped by heat-loving bacteria and minerals dissolved in scalding water. These living palettes swirl and shift with the seasons, creating otherworldly pools that dazzle the eye and nurture rare forms of life. Elsewhere, mudpots bubble and churn, their thick, mineral-rich mud sculpted by the ceaseless breath of volcanic gases. Fumaroles hiss and sigh, venting clouds of steam and sulphur that drift across the land, their presence a constant whisper of the power beneath. These geothermal wonders do more than captivate the senses. They shape the ecosystem itself. Warm waters create unique microhabitats, allowing hardy plants and insects to thrive even in the depths of winter. Nutrient-rich runoff nourishes meadows and forests, weaving the energy of the earth into every living thing. In Yellowstone, fire and water are forever entwined, their artistry etched in stone and steam. The park's geothermal marvels are not just spectacles. They are vital threads in the tapestry of life, sustaining and transforming the landscape in an endless cycle of creation and renewal. Above Yellowstone's forests, meadows and steaming basins, a quieter drama unfolds, one written on the wings of birds. From the piercing cry of a soaring bald eagle to the delicate flutter of a mountain bluebird, the park's skies and woodlands are alive with avian wonders. Raptors, such as golden eagles and red-tailed hawks, command the thermals, scanning open valleys for the slightest movement below. Their keen eyesight and silent flight make them formidable hunters, shaping the populations of small mammals and keeping the ecosystem in balance. Ospreys, masters of the waterways, dive with precision into rivers and lakes, emerging with fish gripped in powerful talons. Each spring, the air fills with the songs of migratory birds returning from distant wintering grounds. Warblers, swallows and sandhill cranes arrive in waves, guided by ancient instincts and the promise of abundant summer. Their journeys, spanning thousands of miles, connect Yellowstone to far-off forests and wetlands, weaving the park into a continental tapestry of life. Along the Yellowstone River, waterfowl like trumpeter swans and American dippers thrive. Swans glide across mirror-like ponds, their trumpeting calls echoing through the morning mist, while dippers bob along icy streams, plunging beneath the surface in search of aquatic insects. Nesting behaviours are as varied as the birds themselves. Woodpeckers carve out hollows in dead trees, creating safe havens for their young. Cliff swallows construct mud nests beneath rocky overhangs, each colony a buzzing testament to cooperation and craftsmanship. High in the conifers, great grey owls brood silently, their camouflage perfect against the tree's rough bark. These birds are more than fleeting glimpses of colour or sound. They are vital players in the park's ecosystem. They disperse seeds, control insect populations, and serve as sentinels of environmental health. Their lives are woven into every corner of Yellowstone, from the steaming geothermal terraces to the windswept alpine meadows. In the ever-changing wilds of Yellowstone, birds embody resilience and renewal. Their migrations mark the turning of seasons. Their songs announce the dawn. As they soar, nest and sing, the birds of Yellowstone remind us that even the wildest landscapes are shaped by delicate wings and ancient rhythms. Beneath Yellowstone's towering peaks and sprawling forests, a hidden world thrives within the park's rivers and lakes. These shimmering waterways are more than scenic backdrops. They are the arteries of the ecosystem, nourishing life at every turn. The Yellowstone River, the longest undammed river in the continental United States, carves a winding path through the heart of the park. Its crystal-clear waters teem with native cutthroat trout, a keystone species whose presence supports a delicate web of life. Alongside them, rainbow and brown trout dart through sun-dappled pools, while mountain whitefish glide in the deeper currents. In the quiet shallows, amphibians such as western toads and boreal chorus frogs find refuge. Their songs, soft and persistent, echo through marshy banks in spring and summer, signalling healthy wetlands. These amphibians, both predator and prey, help control insect populations and serve as vital links in the food chain. Yellowstone's lakes, from the vast expanse of Yellowstone Lake to the tranquil ponds nestled in alpine meadows, are sanctuaries for countless species. Here aquatic insects hatch in abundance, drawing in waterfowl, fish, and even mammals to feed. The cold, oxygen-rich waters provide habitat for the rare Arctic grayling and the elusive long-nosed sucker, each adapted to the park's unique conditions. Waterways also shape the landscape itself, carving canyons, nourishing meadows and sustaining lush riparian zones where willows and cottonwoods flourish. These green corridors offer shelter and sustenance to moose, otters and beavers, while dragonflies and damselflies dance above the surface in the golden light. In Yellowstone, every stream, pond and lake is a hub of activity, a gathering place where the drama of survival unfolds daily. The aquatic ecosystems not only support an astonishing diversity of life, but also connect the park's many habitats, ensuring that Yellowstone remains a vibrant, ever-changing tapestry of nature. As the sun dips behind jagged peaks and the last golden rays fade, Yellowstone transforms. The landscape, so alive with colour and motion by day, is now cloaked in silvery shadows and the soft blue of twilight. Nightfall brings a hush, but the park is far from asleep. Under a sky ablaze with stars, the chorus of nocturnal life begins. Great horned owls perch silently on ancient branches, their haunting calls echoing through the forests. In the meadows, herds of elk move like ghosts, their silhouettes barely visible in the moonlight. The sharp yip of a coyote pierces the silence, answered by the distant howls of wolves rallying their pack beneath the Milky Way. Closer to the ground, tiny eyes glint in the underbrush. Voles and deer mice scurry in search of seeds, while bushy-tailed red foxes stalk quietly, every movement calculated. Along the river banks, the splash of an otter signals a midnight hunt, while beavers resume their tireless construction, the slap of a tail marking danger in the darkness. Above, bats flutter in agile patterns, feasting on clouds of insects drawn to the cool night air. The wetlands come alive with the croaks and trills of frogs and toads, their voices weaving an ancient lullaby that drifts across the water. The air is crisp, scented with pine and damp earth. From the geothermal basins, steam rises in ghostly plumes, illuminated by the moon and casting an otherworldly glow over the land. The symphony of sound, the rush of rivers, the distant calls, the rhythmic chirping, reminds us that Yellowstone's wild heart beats just as strongly after dark. In this hidden world, every shadow hides a story, and every night brings new wonders. Here, under the endless canopy of stars, the untamed spirit of Yellowstone endures, thriving in the mystery and magic of the nighttime wilderness.